So, hi, my name is Alok Kumar. I am advisor health and nutrition in Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog stands for National Institution for Transforming India, and it's a new body set up by the Prime Minister to ensure convergent actions among ministries and also to promote cooperative and competitive federalism. India, as you know, is constituted with 36 states and union territories, and nutrition is a state subject, and therefore it is important that a body plays a role which mediates between the center, the ministries, and the states. And that is the role of Niti Aayog. The National Nutrition Mission is an ambitious program launched by the Government of India on 8th March by the Honorable Prime Minister, and it targets what we consider or what we believe to be the biggest problem in India, and that is the problem of malnutrition. The architecture of the mission is as follows. The nodal ministry for implementation is Ministry of Women and Child Development, because they have been running the what is called as the Integrated Child Development Services Scheme for almost close to 4 decades. So therefore that is the nodal ministry through which all the budgetary finance of this program is being routed. Niti Aayog is at the center of that mission, with the vice chairman of Niti Aayog as the head chairing that mission. Then there is an executive committee which is headed by the secretary of the Women and Child Development Department. And then there are state level structures to be set up at the state, district, block, and even village levels. And the reason why Niti Aayog was chosen was because of two reasons. One reason is that it is a instrument for cooperative and competitive federalism, where it gets all members of Team India together to this program. The second is because of the convening power of the Niti Aayog, we are able to get all the participating ministries and states to get and work towards common objective. And the third reason why we have done is because we are at an arm's length from the from the implementing agencies. The role of monitoring and evaluation is rightfully in the domain of Niti Aayog. And that is the reason why Niti Aayog was chosen as the agency that would kind of anchor and coordinate and across the various actors in this program. And Niti Aayog is supposed to submit half-yearly reports to the Prime Minister and his office, so that they can take stock and introduce necessary corrective action as and when it is required. I think there are four major pillars of the National Nutrition Mission that I would like to kind of highlight. The first is convergent action, both in terms of geography and in terms of programmatic action. So different ministries had different districts as priority districts, but if you did a mapping, they did not intersect with each other, with the result that some ministries are concentrating on some districts, some ministries are concentrating on some other districts. So geographic convergence was one part of the exercise. And now we have all agreed, all ministries will now focus on the 200 high burden malnutrition districts, then in the first phase, then 315, and gradually expanded to the rest of the country. That was the part of geographic convergence. Then the programmatic convergence. So there are schemes for adolescents, for instance, across health ministry, across WCD ministry, water and sanitation ministry, rural development ministry. So there is a need for us to kind of get all these things together. And that is one broad pillar of this mission. The second broad pillar of the mission is what we call as Jan Andolan, getting the involvement of masses and communities. The third major element of change is this idea about monitoring of growth, and almost on a real-time basis. This is the third major element. So a very sophisticated technological intervention is being done. It has been tried, it has been tested in the field, and it has been found very useful. Now the idea is to scale it up from 100,000 to 1.4 million Anganwadi centers. We are providing smartphones to the ground level workers, which are called Anganwadi workers in our parlance, and then also their supervisors, so that the supportive supervision element can be brought in. So, technology is going to play a major role in the National Nutrition Mission. The fourth and the final point in this mission that is different is this whole idea about joint incentives. So, how can we finance our frontline workers to really give outcomes, and that too working in teams. So far the approach has been the frontline worker of the health is concentrating only on health issues without looking at the other issues which affect nutrition. The Anganwadi workers are looking purely at food and food delivery issues, not really coordinating as much on the health side. The sanitation worker is looking at only from the purpose of ODF, open defecation free, but we now need to go a level further and to get wash practices at home, and therefore we need a coordinated approach. So how can we incentivize teamwork is another major change in the approach that we are trying. So the center-state equation in India is particularly interesting. So the constitution actually has envisages three tiers of government: the union government, the state government, and the third tier of the government, which could be an urban local body or it could be a gram panchayat or a panchayat system, which is running village level governments. Now the constitution actually demarcates their responsibilities separately. And each one of them are directly elected from among the people, and therefore they are sovereign in their own sphere. Now, but however, the fiscal capacity at each level of governments is different from the responsibilities which they are asked to assign. And there is a huge mismatch here. For instance, the central government has much more financing power vis-a-vis the responsibilities which are assigned to them, and the local and the state governments have a much lower fiscal space commensurate with the responsibilities which is assigned to them under the constitution. And therefore, there is a mechanism of fiscal transfers through which the state government the central government prioritizes the national development agenda. The government of India finances the states in two ways. One is untied transfers, which is a share of the taxes collected by the center. B is what is called as the centrally sponsored schemes, like the Integrated Child Development Services and the National Nutrition Mission, where states and center jointly, in the ratio roughly proportion of 60 to 40, fund those schemes. So in this manner, the fiscal capacity of the center is used to prioritize action, and nutrition is now one of the biggest priorities, and that is why we see the focus on the National Nutrition Mission. And we have seen a substantive increase in allocation across the nutrition. For instance, we have about 3,000 crores per annum on account of the National Nutrition Mission, around 4,000 crores per annum on the supplementary nutrition program under the ICDS, and finally around 2,100 crores per annum on a conditional cash transfer, maternity cash transfer to pregnant mothers and lactating women. One of the questions which is often asked is whether we have a nutrition in our budget lines, nutrition, or tracking the budgets of different ministries to see what impact it will have on nutrition. Well, we don't have a nutrition tracking budget line as yet. We believe that it may unnecessarily complicate our budgeting system. But by ensuring this convergent mechanism which I was earlier referring to, so we have identified a package of interventions, so say 8 to 12 interventions which are the lowest hanging fruit, which will give the maximum, what we say, bang for the buck. In this, we are trying. So, what are the issues which are affecting? One is the status of the woman in the society. So, how do we encourage girl child? How do we work against to increase the girl child proportion in the child sex ratio? That the girls are being looked after well during adolescent stage, as well as the stage just leading into marriage. Age at marriage is a big concern in many parts of this country. How do we delay the age at marriage so that when they conceive, they are able to bear that child? Then we have a whole set of interventions on the health side. For instance, diarrhea is one of the major killers. So what we have done is that each ministry has identified the focus areas. For instance, looking at diarrhea, the Ministry of Health has just now introduced a pneumococcal and a rotavirus vaccine into a vaccination system. And and these are being targeted into high malnutrition burdened districts. And that, to our belief is that will address the problem of diarrhea in a very significant way, and that would automatically translate itself into into nutritional outcomes. We have some significant investments on the hygiene and sanitation front, where we have targeted for an open defecation free campaign, and we have made significant progress in the last say about 3-4 years. With relentless focus and involving all the district level and frontline functionaries, and also involving communities and trying to educate them as to why sanitation is important. But we have not been able to do that next step where we are now headed to, that within households, how do I inculcate wash practices in my day-to-day activities. So open defecation free is one part of the overall hygiene and sanitation part, and that is the part which is now going to be stressed by or focused on by the drinking water and sanitation ministry. And each ministry has been assigned and been given their responsibilities, and roles have been laid out, and they are now then expected to ensure that whatever budgets are allocated to them in the normal process, how they can prioritize them into these activities so that these outcomes are okay. So formally, we don't have a nutrition tracking mechanism, but through this mechanism and this 6-monthly review mechanism, which Niti Aayog will be spearheading, we hope to get the necessary resources, the functionaries, the attention and the energies of all these constituent ministries to make sure that the overall nutrition outcome is achieved. We propose to engage private sector in a big way. In particular, the micronutrient deficiency is one of the major issues with respect to the nutrition campaign. And we are now trying to introduce fortifications, the food fortifications, which is practiced world over. So oil, flour, rice, milk, salt. So the standards for them have already been laid down. So there is a big role for the private sector there. The second element of private sector engagement is this element of corporate social responsibility. As you know, India has a law where by law the corporates are required to contribute 2% of their profits into a corporate social responsibility fund, which can be used to fund various activities. And we are now trying to engage with the corporates in a big way to make sure that nutrition becomes a priority for them, and they can supplement the governmental effort. Of course, when we talk about taking private sector support, there is always this issue about conflict of interest, especially with those organizations which are developing formula foods and milk substitutes and so on and so forth. There is a legal framework in place to address that. Moreover, the guidelines for supplementary nutrition programs, the guidelines are such that we encourage local food materials sourcing from local and production locally, especially by women self-help groups, which would then preclude any kind of uh, interest or conflict of interest. There, but I mean, it's a balancing act. I mean, there are no right or wrong answers here. So we need their support, but we also need to be on our guard against such conflict of interest. It's a balancing act, and I think the government is capable to do this balancing act through the guidelines, through the rules. Now, one of the other things that we really see in this whole program is to build capacities in a huge way. When it comes to stunting, which is, as I said earlier, a slow withering away of the child, that has not somehow or the other not been either a very great media concern or a very great community concern or a very great political concern. And that really is something that we need to change. And one of the attempts in the Poshan Abhiyan is to do precisely that. But one thing is about building up the concern. The other point is, can we equip our teams at the ground level to tackle these challenges? What really needs to be done? What are the techniques? It's not a very simple solution. It's not a very intuitive kind of a thing that needs to be done. So we have started this. The district magistrate, who is the chief executive at a district level, which is of a population of, let's say 20 million people. So 2 million people, around 2.5 million people. We have started their trainings at the Apex Civil Service Training College in Mussoorie in Uttarakhand. We have developed a whole incremental learning approach module, 21 modules to train the frontline workers, because their capacity, their grasp to absorb all the technical details is limited. And these are the people who through their word of mouth communication really impact how people think about these issues relating to nutrition. For instance, one of the big weaknesses in India has been the issue of complementary feeding. Only 9% of our children receive adequate diet between the ages of 6 months and 24 months. That needs to change. How do we convey that is important? So this incremental learning approach passes all these technical information in a very, very short, easy to absorb 21 modules. And once the mobile phone reaches the frontline workers, you'll be able to push many of these, which can then have the standardized messages delivered not only to the frontline workers, but through their mobile phones would also be available to the communities, the mothers, the children, and the decision makers in the household. So, for instance, mother-in-laws here play a very important role. The husband plays an important role. So, how do we reach our message to every single household? And technology will possibly help us do us. Very good materials have been developed, and now in the month of September, we are trying to create a major buzz around this, so that every individual, every opinion leader in this country is now touched to make sure that the mission of nutrition becomes owned by every opinion leader, rather than becoming only a siloed government program. And we hope that this will give a good momentum to the campaign, which has been launched on 8th March. And then we'll see how we'll take it forward, because this would need consistent re-engagement, reinforcement, because long-held beliefs will take some time to change, and now is the time for change. And I think, as far as I can see it from my vantage point, I see a lot of engagement, both of civil society, of the private sector, of the government, of the panchayats, and of the self-help groups of the women. We are involving everybody. Every conceivable structure is now being touched to make sure that this program or this mission achieves its aims and objectives. Good.